Good evening, Knicks Nation. Welcome to our next edition of Sky Hoops Knicks Dreams. To join the conversation, drop your comments in the chat, and eventually I'll add the link if you want to be an active host or co-host participant in this conversation. This year we're gonna start it off by saying "Go New York, go New York, go," and then of course at the end we have a closing statement as well. But that being said, I want to kick off this podcast by dropping the mic to my man Bill Stradamus, who's in the house. And now this year he added a little wrinkle to his name because last year he was Bill Stradamus. This year or this season, he's Bill Stradamus Esquire.
Esquire.
So go ahead, Bill Stradamus. Kick us off, brother. Talk
Like
to
I
us.
said, from the end of the season to the beginning of the season, miraculously, I was able to get my law degree.
Oh, wow.
And therefore, I am my first assignment is the representation of Kyrie Irving in all matters.
Okay.
There you go.
However, I digress, and I want to say thank you to Coach in H2O for representing Knicks Dreams by being in the crib and watching us break records and excite the New York basketball audience.
Yeah.
That game was like, wow. It was one of those games. And I'll leave it there right now because let me let my man Dream eat a little bit so that he can let you know how he feels and felt about the other day's win.
All right. Appreciate that. And I just want to say, H2O, this is what we saw the first preseason game was this kind of come out, free balling, shoot easy buckets, all this kind of nice stuff flow to the offense. There was some hiccups in there, but for the most part, they kind of showed out what the capability of this offense can do, just come out, basically put the game away almost like in the first quarter, by most standards. But, it's NBA, people can come back at any time. And at some point in the game, they did try to make a little run back at us and got it in the low teens, I think it was in the third quarter at one point. But for the most part, we held pat to what we are going to be and how we're going to show ourselves to be this season. And, that offense looks like it's ready to start firing off. Currently right now, number one in the NBA, even though it's 2 games in, but we didn't hold anywhere near that spot last year. So I'm going to throw it out there right now. So I'm happy about that. That being said, I bounce pass up. H2O, take it away.
Excuse me. Can you clarify that last statement that what you put out there? What is it that you said you're going to put out there now?
No, I said I'll just.
I'm hard of hearing.
It's only 2 games in. We are the number 1 points per game in the NBA. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, number one is scoring. Yeah,
we lead the bottom to the top. You're saying this early, but I'm just saying 2 games in. Stats are stats. We'll leave it at that.
Well, it's this. You mentioned the fact at the last episode that if you add 8 points to this from Bullock to Fournier, and we add 6 points or 10 points, that whole math thing that you were doing for us, and it's like coming true. I mean, I kind of felt Fournier was going to be the real deal, but he's definitely proving it. If anybody had any doubts about, this Frenchman, we just saying Frank Ntilikina now. It's a different Frenchman now, okay?
Or that other guy, Weiss.
The Weiss. Yes, thank you for remembering. Yeah, is it Frederick Weiss from back in the 80s? No, this is.
You mean Frederick Weiss?
The guy that never got here or something like that.
Who got Vince Cartered?
He got Cartered?
He got Cartered.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Vince Carter.
Vince Carter jumped over him in the Olympics.
Okay. Well, anyway, let's stay on point here. This is what's his first name?
Evan
Fournier, the real deal. That boy is going to give us those 10 to 15 extra points that Bullock wasn't giving us consistently. That is the key. Consistently, I believe. Take it away, Santana.
So I'm going to take it back a previous game. I'm going to go back to the season opener because I want to share with the audience, if they weren't at the Garden, our experience. The Garden was rocking like if it was a playoff game. It was that electric inside the Garden. I know it went into double overtime. That only added to the energy inside that arena. But that arena was smoking from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. I mean, they had the celebrity roll there. They had the singing at halftime, all the different, bells and whistles. They had the t-shirt. They had the bracelet. I mean, you had to be there. I came close not to being there. I came close to selling my ticket because I had a guy at work that was like, all Knicks down. He was motivating me, and I felt like, you know what? Maybe I'll sell him the ticket. But I'm glad I did. He'll have to choose another game. But I'll tell you this, man, and I take that from my man Ron. Okay, he'll bring it back at some point. But nonetheless, it's a tribute to my man Ron. The Knicks were kicking butt. It was a good game. They played good offense. They played good defense. Of course, it's a work in progress. It's still early, and yes, it's great to hear that they're leading the league right now in offense. I mean, who would have ever thought that at this point, even 2 games in? Knicks never came even close to sniffing the top echelon in offense in the league. So, I'll take that. I'll take it right now, for as long as it lasts. We know that on the defensive side of the ball, they'll definitely be ranked up there. We know that. But to get that offense up there, man, that's the cherry on the ice cream cone or on the sundae. So, hey, I'm all good with that. I'm not going to say much more. I'll talk about it more. I want to give more time to Dream because I know Dream got to jump off. So, Dream, yo, go. Rock, brother, rock. Unmute your mic and go.
Yeah, no,
Fly,
I get it,
young man.
It's exciting. It's exciting, and I appreciate Bill stepping aside so I can jump back in here. But like you said, you started out saying it, Bill. We broke records, man. Those 24 threes in this game we just had, not the first game, but the game we just had, those 24 threes, man, that's crazy because we came into the season and that's what they talked about. They talked about adding shooting to the team, which they did. And now it's actually turning into, we're seeing it turn into points on the court, actual, like not just guys that can come and shoot, but they are not scared to play here. They're falling into the offense pretty well. And 24 threes is pretty good. I didn't like the 9 for 17 from the free throw line. But that's an area that can easily
say that again. Say it again, Dream.
9 for 17 on this team is not going to do it. We got too many good shooters that when you get to the line, you got to make those buckets because the guys getting to the line often are Randall, Rose, the normal guys. And now Fournier is actually getting to the line too. I see him driving a little bit and getting some, pulling up some fouls. So 34 assists, bro. That's beautiful. That's a wonderful thing. So not only are you getting shooting, but you're getting people passing the ball. They're sharing the ball. They're getting up shots. They're making shots. What else could you ask for early in the season? Because usually it takes a couple of games for people to get their flow going, but not this team. For some reason, everybody's just coming in. The biggest thing though that I love to see that we died last year every time. This stat always came up. Fast break points is a big thing that always killed us. We could not generate any speed up and down the floor. And back-to-back games and all preseason long, that's the one thing they have been showing, that they're going from one end to the other end in 1 or 2 passes. Boom, boom. All the way down, catching dunks, all kinds of stuff. But they're moving that ball up and down the floor, and it's super exciting. Yeah, get them wands out. Get that out, man, So, I would have liked some more rebounding. Last year, we were in the 40s, averaging around the 40s, something rebound. Last game, we only had 38. And I'm only bringing that up only because we blew this team out. And then there was a time I think we got lax, like I said, in that third quarter, going in the early fourth before they stretched it out again. And so if we could just stay focused and, take away those possessions from the other team, that's just better for us. Now we happened to score a bunch of points, so that didn't really matter in this game, and in that mattered more in the first game against Boston, is that we were going toe to toe with them, and in that game we did get the 50 up to the 50 something rebound mark, but we also had 2 extra quarters. So a lot of those extra empty calorie stats fell on us because of those extra quarters and stuff like that. So I don't really know what to do with that game other than chalk it up for a W, because that was a beautiful way to start the season, even if it took us to double overtime, because he tried to give it away at the end of the fourth quarter. But that being said, we already talked about it. Number 1 point scored. We're only around 17 in defensive points allowed right now, but we are a team that, we value our defense, so I expect that to go up. And as everybody gets used to their new assignments, moving around on the defensive end, and incorporating those new players. We knew we were going to take a little bit of a hit on defense because the guys that we actually shipped out were slightly better defenders, I would say, than the guys we brought in. But the offense is so much better from Walker and Fournier than it was from Alfred Payton, and Bullock. Okay, so that's the trade-off we're going to get. I'm hoping that we still land in the top 10 in defense. It would be nice if we landed in the top 5 in defense, but the offense looked like it's going to be taken off this year, and people are going to have to keep up with us, and that's going to be a thing they're going to have to worry about, is keeping up with our scoring output. It really seems like we can put up 30 points a quarter pretty easy, but that again, that word HTO dropped out. Consistency. That's what it's going to come down to. So, that being said, I don't want to say too much. I did want to hang on for a little while longer, but I'll pass the rock. I think I'm going to go behind my back to Bill Shadamas.
All right, I'm going to take it, and I'm not going to be long because I want you to get back on. You got 9 minutes. I want you to get back on before 9 minutes is up. Basically, I want you 3 to guess what my complaint would have been for this last game.
Oh, people got complaints?
Last complaint. Yes, I do.
I didn't see the last game, so I can't speak to that.
Okay.
What was the last one? No Miles McBride?
He didn't get no. The fact that all of those rookies should have gotten, with the margin that we beat those guys, he should have given the rookie. He should have, especially in the fourth quarter. He brought them in with like 4 minutes and change left. Yeah. And they should have gotten the majority of that quarter, in my opinion, because you saw when Grimes came in, he touched the ball and he let that feather just fly, and it just went swish. The first shot in. Sims, he was playing because the other 2 big men were out, but he didn't even play. I don't think Sims played 20 minutes. He should have gotten at least 20 minutes or 20 to 25 minutes. It was just him and Mitch. One thing I noticed about Mitch is rebounding better. Maybe it's 17. Maybe it's that weight on him, or maybe he was watching some things when he was sitting out, but he's doing a little better rebounding out there. I'm gonna leave it at that for now. But my complaint was Tibbs overplaying these guys in a blowout. That's all it was. With that being said, I see my man G Money just popped up in the building. But listen, I'm gonna pass you because Dream has to leave, so I'm gonna pass it back to Dream. Okay, and let him expounds on whatever he wants since he has to leave. Go ahead, Dream.
I see H2O wants to say something. Go ahead.
Maybe you want to touch upon tonight's game and what you expect or what.
Okay, yeah, no, I can do that real quick. Yeah, that's not a problem at all. And I appreciate that give and go. You know me, I like the easy buckets. So, just quickly, like I said, I do have to jump out of here. But tonight's game, so far so good. The season's going good. I expected exactly how I called it out. What next time we'll go over this whole. I did the entire season, and I'm sure maybe some of you guys have dove into it a little bit. But so far so good. I picked the Boston win. I think we talked about it before we had gotten on the show. I picked them to beat Orlando. I think they're going to beat Orlando again tonight. I'm expecting another blowout, maybe 15 to 20 points instead of the 20 to 20. I do expect Orlando to play a little bit tougher defense, but I expect that we just roll on them. They're just a young team, Orlando in general. They have a young team. All their best players that they had there for a couple of years, building up, continuity and stuff like that. They're all gone, so they're starting fresh again. And we're a team, even though we're adding 2 new starters, we are, pretty used to playing with each other, and we have a groove and a way and a style that we like to put out on the floor. And we just gave it to them in their house, so now they're coming back to us, right? Yep, they're coming back to us tonight.
Read the screen, Dream. Read the screen.
I said it now. Nick's a good. He's a conference fighter. I don't know about all that this year, but
I think you got to chillax a little bit.
If that's gonna happen, we have to beat Miami this year because
we're gonna be there.
That's what I predict we're going to see in the first round in the playoffs. So if we're going to go anywhere, that's a team we have to straddle and get a hold of this year because we didn't do that well last year with them. With that, I'm going to jump out of here. Fellas, salute. Appreciate the time. And G Money, take it away. Go ahead. Cross court bounce pass.
Sure, and I'm gonna splash cash it like the Chef Curry. Salute everybody. Long time no
Salute,
see.
salute, G Money.
Money. Salute everybody. It's been a fun 2 games. The first game came down to the wire. The second game, we did not believe in magic. I can say the shooting was great. The ball movement was great. I loved how the defense, it was consistent. We stayed with the shooters. We didn't let up. We kept pushing the pace, find the open man, and we kept using the right rotations. But I do agree with you, Bill Stradamus, that Phibbs needs to learn to not overplay his guys. I do agree with you on that because here's the thing. I'm not trying to be negative, but anyone can get hurt. So we just gotta. So that's why I said if I were Phibbs, I would not overplay my guys. But this Magic game tonight, I do agree it will be a little bit closer, but I think we'll win around double digits. Because the Magic, even though I don't think they'll do anything this year, they are going to fight a little bit. So if you just come out with the right mentality, find the open man, make sure we share the ball, not play hero ball, and do not play down to our competition, we should be good. So that's my thing. And with that, I'm going to do an alley-oop to my man H2O.
You're muted. I think your mic is muted, H2O.
You're absolutely right. I didn't want you guys to listen to everything that was going on in my background. I just want to say welcome, G Money. And I'm glad to hear that, we're not being negative on the Knicks, but we do have to point out the areas where they can improve. I know that I get killed a lot for making those bringing out those points. So I'm glad that everybody is on board with that, even though I disagree with some of the things that people are saying, because we're only 2 games in. So, like Coach Papi Santos likes to say, you know what I'm saying? Why are you killing them? They're winning. Why are you killing them? But what I do disagree with, at least in this second game, okay, the one person that played the most played 30 minutes. 30 minutes, guys. Right? What are we talking about? 48-minute game?
Mm-hmm.
That's 18 minutes that man sat. All right? Plus timeouts and this and that and the other of the 2.5 hours. He played 30 minutes. And that was Randall. Everybody else, 28, 22, 27, 25, 10 for Sims, 23 for Toppin, 24 for Rose, 18 for Burks, and 20 for Quickly. And they all scored, all produced. They were all on the plus or minus. It was almost all of them were plus. Walker was the only one that played 22 minutes, got 11 points. It was a -2. Well, I don't know how that worked out, but again, he's doing much better this year. And aside from all of those guys, he still brought in Knox. He brought in McBride, even though he wasn't only for 3 minutes, and he gave Grimes 5 minutes. He's trying to work everybody into the rotation. But remember, the reason why he came back was because we had a 30-point lead, and before you knew it was down to about 20 or 19, and then he had to, in the third quarter, and then he had to bring those guys back to establish some order, okay? And then when the game was out of reach, then he gave those other guys those 5 minutes at the end of the game. So while I agree with you in everything that you're saying, playing too much minutes, not giving the rookies enough, he is doing some of that now.
True.
Take it away, Santana.
So I want to take you back to game 1 in the third quarter, because I got to share a little story, a little experience that we had at the game. So I'm sitting next to H2O, and of course, Obi's on the brink of exploding. And of course, my man Obi's is just getting his feet wet. There was an incident, I think, before the half where he had missed an assignment or something where Tibbs, I mean, in the
Lit 'em up.
after a timeout, lit him up. So I think he kind of gave him that boost that he needed, a wake up call, because in that third quarter, his stat line just exploded. But before it even exploded, H2O was already on him, and I'm telling H2O, you know, just watch Obi, just watch Obi. And sure enough, at first he was like, come on, man. He only got 2 rebounds or 3 rebounds, only 2 points and maybe 1 assist or whatever. I said, just watch, man. Just watch. And sure enough, my man Obi, one Kenobi, pulled out his laser. And then they started giving him the ball on the fast break, and he was dunking it on people. That's when he started making and what I told H2O, and if I'm lying, H2O, you say so. It's okay. But I said to H2O, those are significant points. Okay? And the reason why they were is because they were energy points. They were turning the tide. He was bringing another level that was raising his game and was getting the crowd back into, because at that point, Boston was leading. Okay? They were, every time they were separating away. Well, when Obi came in and he started doing his thing, and then Barrett started to do his thing, they came back. You remember that? You remember that, H2O?
It was about 50-38. And I turned to him and I said, this thing is going to be tied up by halftime. And then Rose came in, and they went to a small lineup with
Randall and Obi.
Randall and Obi.
Obi at the 4. And they just started running on them. Okay?
Yes.
It was awesome to see, man. I mean, guys, if you missed it. Now, to your point, he also lit them up on Friday night.
Well, again, I didn't see Friday night.
Oh, you should have seen that. He lit them up, boy. And then he came back and started kicking butt. Boy.
But this is my point, though, and I'm glad you made that point. I'm glad you guys witnessed it. But he's been unlocked.
He gave him 23
He's been
minutes.
unlocked.
He gave him 23 minutes.
He knows.
And he scored 13 points.
He knows his role now, and that is to be that spark plug off the bench, attack the basket, and give us some buckets.
Run out.
Okay.
He runs out every time we get the rebound. He's out. And if he gets that pass, like you said, those energy points, turn the tide, momentum points.
Yes, and those are very important points. And then the stat line at the end was a very good stat line, but there were significant points because they helped them get back in the game, and on top of that, just give them that boost that they needed to really take command of the game. With that being said, I'm gonna do a nice little bounce pass to my man Bill Stradamus so that he could kick it off. Go ahead, brother. Rock.
All right. Now, okay, you said you didn't see the game the other night. Well, then you missed.
I was working.
Okay, so you missed the 3-point barrage, and my man showed up. My man that I still didn't forget about him from last season. Boogie Burks. Burks comes in, drops his 12 to 15 points, and just continue where he left off last season. And I'm loving how you call him H2O? Fournier. I'm loving Fournier. That dude has a serious I don't know what you call it, but he gets this look, and he seems to be always serious on the court out there. And he won't mind pulling up and putting one right in your mouth. And he'll take the shot during what may seem to be a close game or a game where you don't want to trade baskets, but you want to make a basket and then play defense. And that's another thing that I noticed about him. He's playing pretty good defense out there. Now he's not on the perimeter locking people down or trying to in the same manner that who's the guy that left? We know who the one that left. Bullock. Yeah, he's not doing that. However, he's in the passing lanes, he's getting deflections, he's getting steals, and he's disrupting the offense of the opposing team. And I saw that in both games. He was doing that. So I'm loving that, and I really can't wait until Noel gets back and healthy, Taj gets back and healthy, and I want to see us hopefully they'll be back for Tuesday's game because Tuesday we got Philly, but I don't know. Go ahead, H2O.
Taj is not hurt. He had a baby, or his wife had a
There's a
baby.
baby, yeah.
Right. Well, I hope he's back though.
Yeah. But
That was funny because the last game.
Yeah, I just want to add. Don't forget my boy, IQ, man.
Oh, IQ.
He found his game.
Yes, he did. Yes, he
found
did.
his game.
Yes, he did.
He got a couple of floaters, and he got those. I think 4 out of 8 from 3-point. That's 50%.
Logo IQ.
IQ. He be putting them up from He puts them up from the bench.
A little too much.
sometimes I'm like, one of those. I do if it goes in. I'm the happiest man in the room. But I want to see the full squad back. Like I said, Taj had a baby, and it's funny that I'm reflecting on last game. We on my family chat, and my pops was asking, "Where's Taj?" And somebody said, I think one of my cousins was like, "Oh, he's not there. He had a baby." And my pops' response was, "And."
Bro, if he has a baby, he has to be a father. Take care of the little.
I know that.
Little type though.
Yo, that only takes 5 minutes, man. He can get to the game after that.
My pops would have been home with his family as well. He's just putting that out there just to,
Hey, G Money.
Go ahead, G Money.
Well, Friday's game was magical for us, and what I like about it is that we maintain our focus. We kept it going for 48
minutes.
Say
that again, G Money. Say that again.
We kept our focus locked in for 48 hard, tough minutes. Nice, man. And also, back to, I know we talked about the Knicks Magic game, but Mike Tyler, as far as making the conference final, I just think we have to relax a little bit and let the season keep going before we get there or not. But
that's Melissa. That's my daughter.
Melissa. Oh, that's your daughter. Oh, okay. Nice to meet you. So, but back to New York. I think New York tonight is gonna come out with the right mentality. Orlando's gonna fight everything they have, but all we need to do is to beat the teams we're supposed to beat. We're supposed to beat the Magic. This is a team that we should beat, like we did on Friday. Let's take care of business tonight, because Tuesday is the real test against Philadelphia. We haven't beaten that team in a while. So let's take care of Orlando, go 3-0 in the season. Let's take one quarter at a time. Let's not overthink the Philly game. Let's stick with this game. Limit turnovers. Watch out for Cole Anthony. He might have a big game. Watch out for Terrence Ross, too. And if we can do those things, then I think we can pull it off.
Pass the rock.
Oh, and the rock, I will do a behind the back to Bill.
Okay, and I'm going to take it, and I'm going to do a quick bounce pass over to H2O.
Peace.
Okay, and I'm gonna take that shot then.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
because give us an OB, one of them OB dunks.
Yes, right. Because I know that we don't need to get ahead of ourselves with regards to we can beat this, because we're not there yet to talk about like we got any game. We got to play every game. We got to win every game. But fortunately, looking at just the names, Wagner, Carter Jr., Anthony Cole, and Jalen Suggs. I mean, a good young core. And who's the other guy? Bamba. Bamba was shooting from 3.
He was shooting 3.
So, I mean, they're going to get double digits, all of them. But the problem, their problem is going to be trying to stop us. And, as long as we are locked in offensively and maybe do a little better defensively, because we gave away those last 2 quarters in that last game. Okay, we gave them 29 and 32 respectively in the third and the fourth quarter. They won the third, and we we won the fourth
by 3.
But by 3 points. But that should not have happened, and that was at the time that they were getting a little bit, lax, and they made a run on us. So they're very capable. I mean, these are NBA players too, So we can't go into this game thinking that we smacked them by 24, 25 the last time. So, that we can do it again, because in this league, it's any given Sunday, everybody can beat anybody. If
But
you go in there with the attitude that I got this.
question,
Yes.
H2O, this is a question for you. What was up in the last game with your son? Your son didn't have a great game.
The Riddler?
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about? He didn't have a great game.
He didn't.
No, he
Want
didn't.
me to
He only
read
got
his
7
line?
points. He only got 7 points.
Yes.
He played 28 minutes, only got 7 points.
Riddle me this, riddle me that.
Whoa, well, let me tell you what happened.
Let me.
Yes, let me tell you what happened to him. Okay, he gave more time to Quickly. He gave more, Quickly with the second unit, and gave more time to Burks. So he had Quickly, Burks, Rose, Toppin. Okay, and Randall at one point. And he sat, even though he gave him 25 minutes,
His three ball was off. That's primarily the problem.
He was 0 for 5, and that was it. That right there killed it, man. He took 5 shots from 3 and didn't make any. I'll sit him down too, bro. It's like, what have you done for me lately, league, man? Well, it's not the name on the back that counts. It's the name on the front. You play for New York. I don't care what your name on the back says. You ain't doing it tonight. You ain't doing it tonight. Sit down, relax. I got 8 other guys on this bench that I put in there.
We got other number 2s that we can use.
That's right. Well, I don't think he's a number 2. I say Fournier is the number 2. Okay, he could be number 3, 4, and 5 between Walker and Rose too. And don't forget, Toby's on their tails. So we got a list of people that are clawing their way, up that barrel of crabs. You know how you climb on top of each other. But at least we play for each other. It's not a barrel of crabs. Nobody's jumping over anybody to get their minutes or something. Everybody's coming in there, they're contributing, and everybody's not going to have it every night. Now, he had it in that game against Boston. And
yes, he did. In the third quarter.
He still has a way to go. Not a long way to go, but he has to get better. He got to be consistent, and he got to tighten up on that defense. Take it away, Santana.
So this is what I'm going to say. My concern going into this game is a letdown. Okay, because yes, Orlando won. I mean, the Knicks won against Orlando in the last game. Of course, I didn't get to see it, so I can't speak too much to what I saw. Obviously, I didn't see the game. However, the pattern with this team in the past has been, they play up to competition and play down as well. Now, of course, when they played Orlando and they beat them by the margin that they beat them, obviously they showed then that they're not letting down. So I like to see that trend of consistency carry over into this game, leading up to the Philadelphia game. Because then, I think we're going to see a more consistent team. Even though this is a very early sample, sample size. It's only 2 games at this moment that we can base an opinion from. However, we know the history of this team, in terms of being consistently inconsistent, but yet, they had a good season last year. So I'm going to be looking at that very carefully because, yes, they beat Orlando by whatever double-digit margin, but with that reason, for that reason alone, I want to be that much more focused going into this game to carry that moving forward, as opposed to say, well, you know what, we beat this team, we could beat them again, or we could turn it on and off. That's what I'm going to be looking for. I want to see how they approach this game, how they play it, quarter in, quarter out, quarter in, quarter out. 25 points per quarter. Let's try to keep that defensive staple that we had last year, where we held teams to 104 points per game. On average, 25 to 26 points per quarter. That's what I want to see, because this Orlando team, I don't think is going to be a better defensive team than they were last year. because they got a different coach.
Right.
Now, again, I haven't seen the team play. I'll see it tonight in terms of their offensive, flow and their defensive schemes. But I don't think they're going to be a better defensive team than last year because it's a different coach. Last year they had a defensive coach. This year they don't. But the Knicks have to show a level of maturity and growth in terms of consistency, and that's what I'll be looking for tonight. With that being said, I'm going to do a nice little lob pass to G Money so he could do with it what he want to do with it. Go ahead.
Listen, I'm going to do a Miles Bridges 360.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
And speaking of, I know we're talking about this, but speaking of Miles Bridges, the Hornets are 3-0 for the first time this season, first time in franchise history, and they just beat the Nets by 16. And what you said about complacency, that's what we have to avoid. Because like you said, even though New York got better last year, there were even times last year that we were very inconsistent. And even the Boston game, the first game. So if we can learn to, come out with a killer mentality, not overlook a team and just play 48 minutes, we should be fun. I do think we will beat the Magic. And like I said, I don't think Orlando's going to be as good defense as they were last year. And like I said, we have to watch out for guys like T. Ross, Cole Anthony, Mo Bamba, even Mo Wagner. We got to watch out for those type of guys because those guys can have monster games. And the Magic in their mind, like, okay, they mollywopped us in our house. Let's go do the same in MSG. So we got to come out here, play 48 minutes. We got to, watch out for the shooters. And also if you're fifth, make sure you out coach the other head coach for the Magic. And another thing too we have to do, I think this is a game for Evan Fournier. I think Evan Fournier is going to have a big game tonight because usually he plays well against his former team. So I think he's going to play well in this game. I don't sleep on Kemba. Kemba might have a big game tonight. Don't sleep on Kemba. He might have a big game tonight. So I think I can see a scenario which the first half maybe a little bit close, but around like the third quarter-ish, I think New York is going to start pulling away. So that's what I think is going to happen. And with that, I'm going to do a no look past my man Bill Stradamus.
And I'm going to take it and give you one of these. I'll give you a Darryl Dawkins dunk.
Mm-hmm.
After I bring the rim down.
Chocolate Thunder. Chocolate Thunder.
You're going to have to stop the game for a few minutes. I agree with your sentiment, G Money, with regard to tonight's game. I think we're going to beat them. I also agree with Coach. We cannot have a letdown. One thing that we've been consistent with this season is similar to last season are those third quarters. We're not having these great third quarter starts. In both games, we had, much to be desired third quarters. In both of those games, even though we won them, we won the second one convincingly, but as H2O pointed out, we were outscored in that third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
That was because we were that last game, we was very sloppy in that third quarter, and that's when I was calling for Tibbs to listen. Just put the young bucks in there, and then if they give up, if the league gets chopped by 8 to 10 points, and then you can always go back to your starters or whoever else off the bench that you wanted to use. But that's the reason why I understand your sentiment with regard to letdowns, because we're still doing that. We're still having these letdowns. But I'm sure, Tibbs is going to tighten up on that. And I also noticed that our big man, he has Sims out there. Sims is playing very well out there. Sims, he has a ready-made NBA body, and he's athletic. Folks don't really, or we haven't seen his athleticism as yet. That dude can jump. He's fast, and he has great shot blocking instincts. He just needs a little more confidence out there. I see he plays well out there, but once his confidence level rises, we're gonna see a better Sims out there. I still want to see. I want to see Tibbs mix up the lineups. I like when he goes small with Obi and Randall. Randall at the 5 will be at the 4, and then I want to see him have maybe Burks at the 3. Give me some Fournier at the 2 and Rose at the 1. I want to see those type of lineups sometimes late in the game, because you know with Rose, you're gonna get some running. We're gonna get some easy baskets, especially with Rose and Obi out there. We'll get some and Fournier. With those three out there, with Rose leading the way, we're gonna get some easy baskets. I still like, although he's still not ready, I like the facts that Tibbs is giving quickly point guard assignment. He's still giving that. He's still letting quickly fill out the point guard spot, and he's still not there yet. But Tibbs is going to get him there. But I like the way he's doing it this year, as opposed to just putting him in there for the whole quarter and just put the ball in his hands and everybody just moves out of the way. They're not doing it that way so much. They're moving the ball better, which is what we have to continue to do, no matter who we're playing. That ball movement has to be consistent, and we'll always have somebody open, capable of dropping the three. Remember last year, I used to always say that we don't have any snipers. I feel that we have snipers now. I feel that I think Fournier is a sniper. I think Quick is a sniper. I think he just has to be settled sometimes and don't look to rush to shoot. I think Quick is a sniper. I think Burks is a sniper.
Kemba too.
And Kemba is a sniper.
Kemba,
And then you have Rose. Rose is shooting well from
he's improving his jump shot.
He's improved tremendously from outside and especially beyond the arc. So with that being said, all of this has to be cultivated and molded into what my daughter calls the Eastern Conference champions. I'm taking it further.
Whoa.
She's saying it right now. They're going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals this year. Okay. So therefore, I'm going to go out on a limb and say we're going to win the Eastern Conference.
Guarantee. He said guarantee. Can I take that off your hands and let everybody get a good laugh on that one?
Nice joke.
Go ahead. This will be something y'all can get on me for the whole season.
That's
nice
okay.
joke.
And it's something that you can come back to and say, "I told you so."
Well,
however,
of that,
I was not. Let me take a minute here. I was listening to my man on ESPN. What is it? First Take, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And he's claiming
Stephen A.
that Stephen A. Smith, the only two teams that are better than the Knicks right now is the Bucks and the Nets, and that everybody better watch out.
Okay. I hear. Well,
okay.
You don't sleep on the Heat. There's also the Hawks.
Yeah, the Heat.
He's hoping that we don't have to go against the Heat.
I mean, I look at both sides, all right? Finals, I look at both sides, all right? I do think we'll make the playoffs. I believe if we can stay healthy, we'll make the playoffs. This is just me personally. I don't see us getting out the second round because we're going to play Miami, Milwaukee, and Brooklyn. You can't just assume injuries are going to happen to those teams. We can't just assume that, all right? And it's a 7-game series. It's easy to say any team can win. It's easy to say with words, but it's what really goes on the court. To me, if you have, here's the thing, I like this Knicks team, but Kemba's not that good in the playoffs. Fournier's not that good in the playoffs. We don't know how Quigley and Obi are going to play in the playoffs. So I do think we'll make the playoffs, but I don't see conference final just yet. Because here's the thing, how are we going to match up with Brooklyn? I understand they don't have Kyrie, but here's the thing, Kevin Durant has shown he can take over a series. If you would have wore a small size shoe, his team would have gone to a conference final, and you can argue would have went to the finals. James Harden, you can't rely on Harden playing bad every year in the playoffs because you have to consider this. When he was with Houston, he had to carry the load. Now he doesn't have to do a whole. I mean, he started to do a lot. He doesn't have to do a whole lot. Now he has Kevin Durant, and who knows? The Nets might make a trade. You never know. The Miami Heat, Kyle Lowry, he can frustrate Kemba Walker, and he's a champion. Jimmy Butler, I understand Jimmy Butler had a bad playoff run last year, but I think he's going to have a much better playoff run this year. And Bam is hard-nosed. And Eric Spoelstra is a great coach, and to me, he's a better playoff coach than Phibbs. And also Milwaukee, they're champions. Greek Freak has looked like a Greek god. His jump shot is improving, man. Middleton, yes, he's inconsistent, but he is clutch. Drew Holiday, underrated two-way player. Grayson Allen can shoot. Brook Lopez can shoot and score in the paint.
Oh,
And again, we struggle in Milwaukee lifetime. So I don't see us going to the conference final because it's matchup. It's easy to say you never know. But sometimes in life, you kind of do know, sometimes in life, because you can't always assume that injuries are going to happen or COVID. You can't just always assume that. You got to base of what you're looking now. So I'm sorry. I'm a true Knicks fan, but I don't see Eastern Conference Finals just yet. Yes, I know the Suns went to the finals, but here's the difference with the Suns. They were not only were they great defensively, they're great offensively too. And you had a point guard in Chris Paul who can run the show. So that's the difference, though. So, and again, I like Tom Thibodeau, but we gotta be honest about Thibs. He's had some bad moments in the playoffs. It's true. He lost to an 8 seed back in 2012. So I don't see us going to the Eastern Conference Finals just yet because those teams, like I mentioned, Miami, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, even you can argue Atlanta, Philly, some of these guys have proven more than us. So again, I do think we'll make the playoffs. I believe we'll make the playoffs, and I believe if we can avoid the Nets, the Bucks, and the Heat, we may get out the first round. But if we play well in those teams, I don't think we beat them because those teams also have better coaching than we. Well, Steve Nash not really, but Milwaukee and Miami have better coaching than we do when it comes to playoffs. That's just me.
all right. Good point. Take
Great
it away,
point.
Santana.
Great point.
I'm not gonna think that far ahead. I mean, I like the idea, the concept of Eastern Conference, but I'm gonna take a wait and see approach. I'm taking it right now, one game at a time. I will say this: I do expect them to make the playoffs,
Oh, we're going to.
regardless of whatever injuries or whatever the case may be. So that to me is a given. Well, beyond that, right now, I'm not ready yet to
Have that conversation.
prognosticate
Mhm.
how far they're gonna get. What I am more focused on is seeing what improvement this team makes as players and as coaches.
Mhm.
Because in terms of Tibbs, I had the same reservation, and he's proven that throughout the playoffs and even in terms of the most recent round when they played against Atlanta, him not making those adjustments
Mhm.
that were pretty obvious to me, and it bared fruit when you saw Atlanta move on to the next round when they played Philadelphia and they put Ben Simmons on him to disrupt his offense. That was a simple adjustment that Tibbs
Yeah.
never made. And
Mhm.
I and he had players that he could throw on there to make it hard on this kid, Trey Young, to just shoot threes out there. Also, the other thing that I found very disturbing in terms of that adjustment is every time that Trey Young was playing defense, he was playing whoever was going to be sitting and camping out in the corner.
Bullock.
Okay, and as a coach, if I know a player is taking it easy that way on the defensive side, I'm telling my offensive player, "Oh, wait, don't stay in the corner. Take that boy in. Take him to the post. Even if you don't know how to post, take him to the post. I want him to feel your body because what he was doing is, in terms of Trey Young, is
Mhm.
he was just sitting on that baseline. And then if the ball was rotated to the man that he's supposed to be defending in that corner, then he would rotate out. But that doesn't take as much physical exertion as it does when somebody's posting you up in the low post. Now you got to defend them. What does that do to you? It wears you down. If you weigh 100 pounds and I'm 200 pounds, that pounding is going to weigh on that guy. So by the time he gets into offense and he's trying to get his three off, he got no legs, he got no strength. And those kind of adjustments, that falls on the coach. That falls on the coach. So that's what I'm looking at in terms of Tibbs this season, how he makes adjustments, number one. And number two, how he utilizes his bench. He has no excuses. He got a lot
Mhm.
of depth. This is when you use it. Now, you guys say game two, he used the bench. That's beautiful. I want to see more of that throughout the
Mhm.
season. So that way, at the end of the season, Rose has legs to close out games.
Mhm.
Kemba hopefully will be able to stay injury free and be
Hopefully.
more, of a threat in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? These are the things that I'm going to be looking at game to game to game to game because I want to see adjustments and improvement by the coaching staff as well. With that being said, I'm gonna drop it off to my man Bill Stradamus. Take it away, brother.
You get a 100 on that exam, my brother. You
Mhm.
get a
A
100
plus,
on
plus,
that
plus,
on your
plus.
sentiment. That's exactly what we want to see. And listen, this thing about us, what I just said in the last segment, winning the Eastern Conference, that's just from my heart. Y'all know
I
that.
hear you, brother. I
Y'all
hear
know
you.
that.
That's an
I'm not gonna kill
emotional
you.
I'm gonna
statement.
be. Yeah. Y'all know I'm gonna be tearing them up all year when they're not doing what we feel that they should do. I'm getting right back on their case. But I just feel good about the season so far. I feel good so far, and I'm looking at what it could be. So that's the reason for my bubbly enthusiasm.
Hey.
Um, but I want to see some more uh, defense out there, as all of you have stated. I want to see better defense, consistent defense, because we're not always going to be out there shooting, however many. What was it? I think we took
24.
24
24 made threes. I think we took like what 50
to like
plus.
50 something.
Yeah, 50.
50 something. Yeah. And we're not going to always do that. However, we can always give a defensive effort.
Mhm.
You can always give a defensive effort, no matter how bad or good your offense is running and playing. So that is a testament to what coach said with regard to the coaching. The coaching has to be better because, like you said, Tibbs was outcoached, and like you stated, who stated Milwaukee and the Heat
Milwaukee might have better coaching in the
have
playoffs.
better coaching in the playoffs. They absolutely did, because they're both of those coaches. They made adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee made adjustments. The Heat, he always makes adjustments. Tibbs has to better his coaching in that manner with regard to that. Other than that, look forward to an action-packed season. I know we're making the playoffs.
We are.
I'm with Coach on we're making the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And once we are in the playoffs, let's see what this year, what this season has brought us. Because if we can get, which I'm also thinking too, I'm saying we're good for 50 wins. I think we can get 50, get in the playoffs, and let's see what happens after that. With that being said, let me bounce pass up top to my man H2O.
All right. Thank you very much, Bill Stradamus Esquire. Your boy is killing the Nets. They are now 1-2, and they just lost to who was it? J Money
Hornets.
to the Hornets, who are 3-0
for the first time in franchise history, by the way.
Okay, but they ain't gonna go nowhere. Let's not get carried away. The Hornets are not going to. They're going to be in the play-in.
I'll shock people. I think they'll make the playoffs.
I
think they'll make the playoffs around like 7, 8 seed. I don't see top 5 because, like you said, it's early. We can't overreact with oh my God, the Lakers are 0-2. Oh, the Nets are 1-2. The Suns are 1-2. It's early.
Right.
It's early. It's early. Trust me, these teams will figure out certain things though. But like you said, I'm sorry for interrupting, H0. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I just wanted to make a point about the fact that you said something about Fournier. Well, he's averaging 25 points a game.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's what I was talking about earlier in the thing in the program, that consistency. That's what he got. 32, I think 32 and 18. If you give me between 18 and 25 points a game, he's giving me at least about 12 points more than Bullock gave me on average last year.
Yep.
Okay, but Bullock probably averaged about 14.
No, he didn't.
Not that much. I'm giving him too much.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, but I'm just like
I was closer to 10.
Okay,
11.
well, like I said, he was in double figures a lot of times.
Bullock was big at times in the second half of the season.
But he was a disappointment anyway. Okay, and as far as making adjustments for last year with them, we didn't have Mitchell Robinson, and we really didn't have a lockdown defender for Trae Young. I mean, who did you want to throw out there? Ntilikina? He
Yes.
did.
Even
He
Yes.
did.
Yes.
And
No,
what
no,
happened when he
no,
sent
no,
him
no,
out
no,
there?
no.
What happened when he sent him out there?
He put him out there, what, with 5 seconds
5
in the
seconds
game?
left.
Come
Okay.
on,
Yeah.
man.
Okay.
Hey,
Yo,
come on, come on,
okay.
man.
Oh, wait a
whole
minute.
argument-
You believing in Ntilikina all of a sudden?
Defensively, yes.
Defensively,
Defensively, yes. Fouls to give, yes.
Fouls to
Listen,
give.
fouls to
I give you
give.
that. Fouls to give.
Fouls to
Uh,
give.
That
the
defense,
argument-
I could play that defense.
he put Bullock on Trae Young exclusively, and
Yeah.
Bullock got toasted.
Right.
Again.
He gonna
and
toast
again.
And
all
Bullock
those
was
guys.
sitting in the corner.
And
Right.
also
He
the
was sitting in the corner, so Trae Young didn't have to play any D.
And
Right.
the Mitch argument, I like Mitchell Robinson, but listen, it's not like the games were close. Game 1 was close. How much would have Mitch changed that series? I don't know. Because here's the
Don't know.
thing. I don't know that because it's not like we lost every game close. And remember, let's be objective for the Hawks. They didn't have Cam Reddish neither. So let's be a little bit objective for both teams. Let's not act that Atlanta wasn't hurt. They also didn't have Cam Reddish. We can't put a bunch of if we had this, that we would have. How do we?
Okay.
We don't know that. We lost by. Let's look at the losses. Game 1 we lost by 2. Game 3 we lost by 17, but lost by 11. Game 4 we lost by 17. Game 5 we lost by 14. So you can't really say, we would have won the series with Mitch. It's not like the games were close. And here's the thing: Mitch is not going to stop Trae. Mitch is not going to stop the threes that the Hawks were flying though.
It's the alley oops.
But
That he
Trae
would
can
have
also
defended.
shoot. Yeah, but Trae
It's
can
the-
also shoot and pat, and also
Right.
that shooters
Like,
around.
again, we could play this game all day long. It's not going to mean anything because we can't go back in the past
Right.
and change anything that happened. So let's see if going into this season he makes a difference. Because when he played at his best, before he got hurt, he was a game changer.
No, he's a good player.
He
I'm not
was
denying.
he was blocking balls into the 100 sections over there where we were sitting.
I understand that, but we're talking about young Mitchell Robinson in the playoffs. We don't know how he would have looked in the playoffs. That's what I'm trying to say.
And they're still young guys.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not denying his impact. He's a good player.
Right.
I'm just saying that he isn't going to change the whole lot in that series because the Hawks they don't only do alley-oops, they can also shoot the ball. And here's the thing: if the game is close, they can foul Mitch. We got to think about all this stuff. They can foul Mitch. Is he going to hit his free throws? I don't know. And Mitch is a good player, but Mitch is a foul machine sometimes. So it's easy to say, if we had Mitch, we would have been in Atlanta. Words say that, but the actions may say
We don't know that.
otherwise.
The thing is that we don't know. It's a question mark. We
Exactly.
don't know. That's why you can say stuff like that because either way, we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We can say everything about me, but like I said, and again, that's just talk. Let's see what will happen this year because everybody has improved. And for a minute there, I thought we were going to stand packed and we want to bring back the same thing. Mm-hmm. But we got a lot of nice pieces that make us totally different than what we were last year.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that.
So now they got the same players. We got better players. So they will improve on what they had, and we've improved on what we had. And it's not going to be the same.
I agree with that.
And we're going to have a defensive player to throw at them if Tibbs decides to use his toolbox. He used those guys, those young kids, Grimes and Deuce,
McBride,
and put him, and pick up that man all the way from the locker room. The minute that he steps on the court, you are eyeballing him. And when you get on the court, you are in his jock. You are twins, joined at the hip. And that is what that kid needs. And like Santana said, he's got to feel this. All the way coming up with the ball. He's gonna be, excuse me, he's gonna do sorry about that.
No, you're good.
He's gonna have to do what CP3 was doing, which is get the ball up and then get the ball on the other end. Because they have so much tight defense on him that he couldn't even bring the ball up.
Tell me about it. I kind of wanted the Suns to win. Like I'm a Knicks fan. I kind of wanted the Suns to win for reasons. One, I want to buy a Chris Paul Suns jersey, and two, I felt bad for the Suns last year. I know we're talking about the Knicks, but back to CP3. I'll make this quick point.
Right.
The Suns' problem last year was rebounding and size. They had a great run to the NBA Finals, and I'm going to shock people. I think the Suns will make the NBA Finals again this year. My bold prediction.
Shocking.
I have a weird feeling to go back this year, but
You know what happened last year, right?
yeah, but I don't want.
Same thing that happened in the bubble. That in the
Yeah,
bubble,
but I don't want to hear injury.
the team that was in, you don't want to hear it. It's part of the game.
Yeah, but my point.
People don't always end the season with the players at 100%.
Okay,
Every player at 100%.
So the Suns can control that because Chris Paul had a shoulder injury.
No, I'm saying the
Devin
Suns,
Booker had a broken nose. And Cam Johnson had an ankle injury.
everybody is who can play through those.
Right, that's my
injuries.
point. And the Suns took care.
And the Bucks, they had what?
There's some luck too with the
white kid,
Dante DiVincenzo.
Dante, he got hurt. But they still played through that.
They did. Giannis was amazing.
Giannis, he played.
He was a Greek god in the playoffs last year.
Okay. So anyway,
yeah.
just to bring it back to the Knicks, you know, we all going into the season hopeful. I'm going into the season hopeful, more hopeful than I've been in a lot of years. And that is the energy that these guys bring. And as Randall said, when they introduced him and he said a few words, New York, we're back. Oh, no, he said, we're here.
We're here.
We're here.
We're here. And we will be here by the end of the season. I think we'll make the playoffs. I believe Fibs will make the right adjustments. And the offense is more spacing. There's much more spacing now compared to last year. And like you said, H2O, Bullock was a good player that could defend and shoot threes. He couldn't create his own shot. Fournier could at least create his own shot.
Creates. He goes to the basket. He's a slasher. He'll hit 3-point, 2 or 3, and then when you run it up to him, bam, he's by you.
And this is why I think, you know, the key here is Fournier, because Fournier's game is more polished inside and out, and that is going to be a challenge for Barrett, because Barrett still doesn't have the confidence that he needs, and his game isn't as polished as Fournier. So yes, I can see Fournier being that second option on this offense right now, even though, you know, they're trying to prop Barrett up, but Barrett is just not there. Right. Just not there. I think where Barrett could be the most effective is attacking the basket. I don't think he should be settling for three because he doesn't have the confidence to be consistent game in, game out, game in, game out. At least if you're attacking the basket, you're putting yourself in a position where if you don't make the layup, you're shooting the free throw, and his free throw is much better. His free throw is more consistent than his three-point game. So to complement the players that you have on the floor, don't take on the responsibility of being a three-point shooter. No, take on the responsibility of attacking the basket as Obi does coming off the bench. Well, you do that starting the game, and you can have Randall and Fournier hitting the perimeter shot because they're going to be more consistent than Barrett is. Barrett just has to focus on being a slasher. I think him being a slasher is a better fit for this team at this point in his career than him trying to develop a consistent three-point shooting.
You lost your mic, Coach.
Santana, your mic is busted up a little bit. Hello?
He's having little technical issues.
Well, you know, one of the things that we did see in that first game was that when they have that small lineup and Barrett is playing at the three, they were running out. And that is where Barrett is most effective. And I think that's the point that I think Santana was trying to bring out. His most, man, he ran out there. He had a dunk one time. He gave it back to him the second time. He went for a layup and got a and one, you know. And that's his game.
But this is the thing. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Loud and clear.
Yes. You're absolutely right in terms of when he was with the second unit, they were running more, and of course Rose was setting them up, so that helped a lot. On this offense, if Kemba starts, Kemba's more slow down player, so he's not running as much. However, in the half court sets, Barry has to make a conscious effort, attack the basket first, approach it that way first, get the easy buckets first, get to the free throw line where you have a higher percentage, and then once you start making those, then you come out and you hit a three every now and then. But don't make that the focal point of your offense, because I think he hurts himself more than he helps himself by approaching it the way he approaches it. And now that you have a Fournier who can shoot that three more consistently than Barry can, and can create his own shot and finish at the basket, you don't have the pressure to have to do it all yourself. Just find a role. Be great at your role. His role, in my opinion, on offense is a slasher. That's his role right now. On defense, he's still got to improve. He's getting beat on the back doors. You know, he's getting beat off the dribbles. So he's got to work on that. He's got to work on. I know he's bulked up, but his defense is suspect at best. But his best role is a slasher, because as a starter, that's where he'll be the best complement to the team. And then when he's coming in and working with that second unit, he's running because of Rose. So that's what I think he needs to do to really complement this team and put the team in a position where they could take it to that next level. Go ahead, Ryan. Take it away.
Basically, I just want to say one thing about RJ. I don't know if you guys noticed, he hasn't come out, although he had a decent first game. He didn't score.
He had a decent third quarter.
He didn't score third quarter.
He had a decent third quarter.
And then last game, 7 points. So I agree with you guys. He got to get his head on. He got to get that confidence, and he has to know what his role is. And I do agree. His role should be attack first, and then that'll leave you with some wide open jumpers. Because if they think that you're just going to ram it down their throat every time you get the ball, they're going to back up off you, and then you got a chance to let your stroke get some workout. And that's how he should go about it. But I noticed that he came in, and Randall did the same. They're trying to win the game in the first quarter. Like, calm down, guys.
It's a 48-minute game. Get guys involved first, and then get your own shot. Let the game come to you.
Exactly. Go ahead, Coach.
No. You guys said it best. I think we should transition into our prediction for tonight, because we got about 13 minutes left before the game starts. So, I'm going to drop it off to G Money, and we'll go around the horn, and then we'll give our prediction for tonight's game.
All right. I do think we will win this game at the Big Apple, go 2-0 at home. I believe we'll go 3-0. The last time we were 3-0, I think we started off, 6-0 in 2012-13 season. I do think we'll beat the Magic, but I'm going to say we win around by 15. I'm going to say 115-100 New York over Orlando. And with that, I'm going to do a no-look dish to a man, Bill.
Okay. Me? We getting at least 30 a quarter. So I'm going to say 120, 108.
Woo!
Okay.
124, 108.
Oh, okay.
Much for 108.
It's gonna be that big, huh?
Yeah. And let me pass it up. Go ahead, H2O.
No, I'm not going to go with this. I think this is a trap game. None of that BS. They're hot. They are coming off of a spanking of this particular team. So they have no fear of, this particular squad. They don't match up very well. We got them in size. We got them in experience. We got them in speed. I don't know, maybe speed they got, but our defense is so kind of okay right now. so that we're going to hold them down, and it's still going to be 125 to 105. Okay.
Okay.
And that's only 20 points. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And before you give it to Coach Santana, Dream sent his, and he said that it was going to be 119, 102.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, on that note, I'm going to give the Knicks the home court advantage because I think, the Garden is going to hold them up. I know how we experienced it, when we were there for game one and stuff like that. And I expect that the Garden crowd or the home crowd is going to expect no less from them. So that energy in the building is going to be up. I'm curious to see. I mean, when you have a team that get blown out, usually they'll come back really tough the next time. They don't want to be embarrassed. They have pride. And these early games are winnable games for any team because not all teams are already in midseason form. This is the theory that I used in the past, not even prior to last season. This is what I would tell H2O. I said, listen, I need to see the Knicks take advantage of these early games. And I know people make these predictions about, okay, I anticipate they're going to be 10-10 by December. You know what I'm saying? Because if there were games that were winnable, it's the early season game. It's to the point that G Money was talking about in terms of the Lakers and the Nets. Obviously, the Lakers
and
are
the
1 and 2, but it's too early. Yes, you can beat those teams now because they're not in mid-season form. Right. The same applies to us as a Knicks team. Right now, we can take advantage of teams. The good teams, whether it's Philadelphia, because right now they have a little bit of turmoil in this situation. But with the Orlando game, the concern here, no different than what H2O said, is that trap game, is the mentality of our team. Are they going to take it light because, we killed this team in the last game? This is a home and home game, so I'm hopeful that they made that transition because that was another sticking point in previous year with Tibbs, where, we beat a team one day, the next day we lose to them. We didn't carry that momentum into that next game. Right. And that's my concern. I'm hopeful. And again, I don't know the coach because if I had a sense, who's the coach for the Orlando Magic right now?
Let me check. Hang on.
See, because that helps me get a sense.
Jamal Mosley.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him, so I don't know his style. I don't know his philosophy. I don't know his track record. But I would think as a coach, you're gonna make some adjustments. When you get smoked like that, you're gonna make some adjustments. And if there's an opportunity to win games, now is the time. But with that being said, there's too many question marks for me to even give Orlando the benefit of the doubt. So with that being said, I'm picking the Knicks. I'm picking the Knicks to win 115 to 100. And I'm being conservative.
That's what G Money said. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm with you, G Money. I'm with you.
Wow, look at that.
I'm with you.
100. Listen, I just want to, if you don't mind,
go.
Let's go over the first 10 games and see what
we got 7 minutes, bro.
7 minutes. So we got the Celtics, the Magic. What do you expect tonight? Win or lose?
Magic
win.
You got the Sixers.
Win barely.
You can win that game.
You got the Bulls.
I think loss. I think we're gonna lose.
Yeah, that's a loss.
You got the Pelicans.
We'll win that game. At Chicago, we're gonna lose in Chicago.
The Bulls at Chicago.
The Pelicans is on the road too.
Yeah, I think we'll win that game.
Okay, the Raptors.
We'll win that game.
We'll win.
That's in New York. The Pacers.
No, they're in Toronto.
The Pacers. I give the Pacers that game.
You get the Pacers. They're at home, right?
Yeah, they're at home no, they're at Indiana. For the Pacers, they're at home for Toronto.
I think we win in Indiana, but we could very well lose.
I think we'll lose in Indiana because we just spanked them in preseason, so I know they're gonna want some get back.
So that's a question mark there. I'm getting a loss on one side and a win. Raptors at home. You saying they're going to lose to the Raptors
No,
at home?
No, we're being the Raptors. We're being the
Okay.
Raptors.
What about the Bucks at home?
Lost. Ran Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Bucks at
Yeah.
home. Lost.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a big
that's a
time.
loss.
And the Cavs.
We're being the Cavs.
We beating the Cavs.
So we got what you're saying to me
we might
is
get Milwaukee.
1, 2,
Nah, we're
3,
not being the
4,
Bucks.
5,
Milwaukee.
6.
In the Deer District. Do you
We're gonna
understand how it's
be-
we're in the Deer District? Nah.
7.
We're not beating Milwaukee.
We're gonna
No,
be
we're not.
7 and 3, huh?
We
Yeah.
played them pretty well last season.
After 10
Doesn't
games.
matter. That's last season. What's up now?
I think 7-3 is reasonable.
73, 6-4 ish around that for me. Around
Okay.
that.
I'll say
Okay.
7-3.
Well, if you got the Bulls and
Bulls and Bucks
the
are
Bucks
losses.
and Pacers are losses.
Pacers, I think we can win that, but we may lose that. I'm 50-50 in the Pacers game because Indiana plays hard at home.
Okay. But the Pacers Indiana is at Indiana.
That Indiana. And we struggled
Toronto
there
is
last
at
time.
home.
They're at Toronto, but I think we can beat the Raptors.
Pelicans in Chicago is away.
We're being the Pelicans. Yeah.
Philadelphia and Orlando is at home.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cleveland is at home.
We're
And
being
Milwaukee is away.
Not winning Milwaukee, yeah.
So you're saying that all the home games are possible wins.
Possible wins, yes. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, guys. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 3, or 8 and 2. Is what you guys are saying.
Around that.
Woo! I don't know. Having said that,
Close us out. Close
take
us
it
out.
away.
Close
Okay,
us out.
so once again, welcome back to another year, a hopeful year, or even more hopeful than many years before. Okay, as Randall said, we're here, and as we always say at the end of every show, once a Nick,
Always
always
a
a
Nick.
Nick. Represent, fellas. See you
All
in the
right,
chat.
fellas. We're going to switch back to the WhatsApp app and have our chat there during the game, fellas.
All right, fellas. Talk to you.
Enjoy.
All right.
Later.